Take a trip on the other side, everybody. The Other Side, a deep dive zone, a Sonic review series for fans of all shapes and sizes. I'm your host, Evan, joined by my co-hosts, Lauren and Bruce, and today we are further covering more stuff of Archie's Sonic the Hedgehog, the Flynn era, and we are, well, we're getting close to number 200 here, but,
yeah.
I would say it doesn't quite feel like it. We're doing
like
this whole Scourge arc. It's not really have anything to do with that.
Well, I mean, I don't know what that is, so it could, but I guess you're telling me it doesn't. So yeah, no, it doesn't.
Fair enough.
I mean, it does kind of feel like it's going somewhere. I don't know if it's going.
It is going somewhere. It's just
it doesn't feel like it's leading to something big like the every 50 issues tend to.
Yeah, but anyway, we are starting here with Sonic the Hedgehog number 190, and we've got a nice parallel cover here to the one we had last week. I kind of wish that we hadn't had to split those episodes, but that's just how it works, I guess.
Yeah, I was gonna say, we had to wait a week to see it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's neat.
It is neat.
The story is called A Bold New Moebius, Part 2, Duality, Flynn and Yardley. The battles in New Megapolis and Freedom HQ rage on with no end in sight. The Dark Egg Legion are disorganized, but Scourge's Suppression Squad is stronger than ever. Can both sides best their foes?
You know, I mean, Suppression Squad makes sense as a name, but Freedom Fighters would have been funny just to keep that, because I love the idea that they fight the freedom instead of fighting for freedom.
That I agree with that, but I also like that right as we're opening up here, we are clarifying that Sonic, when he talked to Scourge before, he was like, "You made me realize how pathetic I was, and so I overthrew the king because that's how I become someone who's not pathetic."
Is that written here and I missed it?
I think so.
Did they talk about overthrowing the king specifically?
Does he talk about it here?
I mean, he became king. I don't know.
He doesn't specifically mention that right here, but I think it is in this issue.
I'd be interested if you could point that out, because I didn't think there was a king.
He does mention overthrowing
Moebius.
He mentions overthrowing something.
Okay, I can think of something later you might be referring to. But
oh, you know what? I know what Devin's mentioning, and that isn't until a later issue tonight.
All right. Well, in any case, that's not even my point. It's just Sonic he's like, Sonic, you inspired me to be more than what I was before, so I became king, and now I'm an asshole. And the thing that I was getting to is that Scourge is the one who made the others change their names and appearances.
Yeah.
And came up with the Suppression Squad name because of that, because he's like, I can't just be you, I have to be more unique.
Yeah, that totally makes sense.
That does make sense, yeah.
And I can totally see Scourge just coming in and bullying like the Suppression Squad, as they're now called, into doing all that. Because it seems like everyone is a wimp, so just a sudden surge of motivation could do that. However, I'm going to say it now because it keeps coming up, and I can't say it every single time it comes up in all these issues. But Scourge claims to have taken over all of Moebius. Very heavily doubt that.
Same, yeah.
I have to believe that they are heavily exaggerating. Like, they could have taken out the king and bullied their not friends here to make like a squad. But I think he maybe just roughed a few people up here and there. It's like, okay, I own the planet now.
You are actually right on the money, and honestly, I think that
doesn't surprise me.
And I honestly think that goes along perfectly with the fact that, like, what it means to have conquered Moebius in the case of, like, Robotnik has always been kind of dubious, and they've kind of treated, like, the Acorns as if they were, the royalty of the planet rather than one city.
Right. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I suppose it goes in line with that a little bit. Robotnik, they never really completely ruled everything, but they at least had like bases across the planet, so like their presence was felt in most places.
That is true, and Scourge doesn't have that.
Yeah, definitely don't see that here.
Yeah.
Anywho, everybody fights everybody else. It's like it's become kind of hard to talk about the fighting in these comics, because it's not that any of it is bad exactly.
No, it's fine. They're fine fight scenes. It's just talking about fight scenes can be very hard.
Well, and sometimes it feels like they're going through the motions. Is like, I like that
little
Sonic
bit.
fakes out Scourge by switching places with Sally, but that's one attack and then they switch to something else. So
Hmm.
they get the drop on themselves.
Basically.
So yeah, let's switch over to the other side. Chaotix Team B are still trapped in the tower with the bombs as the Dark Legion is encroaching.
Yeah. This praying mantis body for Dimitri is still so weird.
I
It's
love
also
it.
it's
love
also
it,
funny
yeah.
because he's like, he's attacking, but then he takes this time to just yell at Knuckles and Julie because it's like, you've already blown up so much of this city. Why are you still attacking? Which is
Interesting logic there.
yeah. But then Julie's like, oh come on, you're the ones working with Eggman. We didn't do that. And then Dimitri's like, you started it.
We're just yelling at each other for no kind of reason right now.
the the echidna conflict has become so just like silly at this point.
Yeah, it really has.
It's fine though, fighting legionnaires is so very
They're the epitome of kind of faceless goons. Like they're the closest that this comic has had in at least a while. I feel like we haven't really had any faceless goons since since Robotnik stopped using SWAT.
definitely we haven't had regular badniks very much either, other than like most of them
Yeah.
working in Casino Night.
Yeah,
I guess we don't have very many egg pawns because of Knucklejack. So
true.
anywho, Sonic almost knocks Scourge back through the portal to his home dimension, and Fiona grabs him, and then he like swipes at her and like yells at her for almost not grabbing him. And there's this moment where all of the other suppression squad get this horrified expression, and remember how last time I said, "Oh, Patch doesn't need that eye patch." I forgot. Scourge made him need it.
Yeah, he made him need it.
That's mentioned later.
That is mentioned later,
explicitly, but
either
yes,
this
that's
issue
true.
or the next issue. I think
Yeah,
it's the next issue. But yeah, no, it's
that
this is
fear gives them their second wind.
yeah.
Yeah. So Rotor still wants to help, but he's obviously still not in condition to fight. So Nicole just encourages him to get out of here.
Which I mean, that's fair.
Everybody's too busy fighting themselves though, so I think he does just get away. There's a good moment here where Bunny offers to help take on Patch, but Antoine's like, no, I have to do this myself, which would be neat, but then the villains end up getting a drop on them, and Sonic has to save them anyway. So
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't mind this action. Like, it's fun to look at. But there isn't necessarily a clear like flow. It's just kind of like, oh, they're fighting. They pause, say a few things. Oh, they're still fighting.
Yeah, I
They're still
think
fighting.
yeah,
Until
that's
eventually they aren't.
yeah, it's like beforehand you had kind of a good flow to it because A, you were introducing the battle, and B, you had Sally and Rotor trying to get the message out to Sonic. Now that Sonic's here, it's just like either we're going to win or we won't.
mm-hmm.
So yeah, Scourge claps back at Sonic, then Amy, then Scourge again, then Sonic again.
Yeah, it's a little. I think you point making it like it's a little by the numbers is pretty
Yeah.
accurate.
Sort of the same deal with the Chaotix. They're beating up dudes, they're tearing up Dimitri's mech, and we have Leonda ask for reinforcements to Snively again, and again he's like, I already told you. So it's like, are we kind of spinning our wheels here?
Does feel like that a little bit.
It does feel like it.
Yeah.
Which is mildly concerning that we're already starting to spin our wheels a bit.
Well, it's okay because like now it ends and stuff starts happening. It's just like the middle few pages is just like, could you have found something else to do?
The plot in this issue was just kind of nothing.
We had to take a second. It's like it almost feels contractually obligated for action, which maybe it literally was. I don't know.
I mean, maybe, yeah.
But they do manage to blow up that tower, and then things start to get interesting.
Things actually happen, yeah.
Knuckles confronts Dimitri, who is now without a mech, and he's like, you're not really a war leader, Dimitri. You guys are gonna be losing. You don't actually know that much about what you're doing. And then Dimitri's like, oh, come on, you make it sound like I'm weakening Dr. Eggman's forces on purpose. And then he's like, what's that about? What do you mean? And then he leaves.
Yeah, then Dimitri like blasts away like no, not really like Team Rocket, but like he just leaves.
Yeah.
Like what?
Well, so
Yeah.
the implication here is that Dimitri also hates Dr. Eggman, and oh sure, we're losing, but if Dr. Eggman himself loses, that'll make things easier for us.
Yeah. So I don't know about the other half of it, but this half of the fighting at least is somewhat justified in
Sure.
there not being a lot to it, because it's like I get the impression, okay, like the others are probably fighting full force, but like they don't really, there's not much to them. Dimitri's really the only one that could possibly do anything interesting, and they're not even attempting to strategize it at any extent because they're the leader, and so everyone else just like, well, I guess we just fight. So yeah, this kind of justifies that part of it. And I
Yeah.
can also see Dimitri doing that because like the Dark Legion's in a bad spot. So yeah, I guess pretend to try to help Eggman to get maybe some tech.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So interesting. But Sally, in their battle here, this part is weird because the battle rages on at Freedom HQ, and Sally's like, we cannot do anything. They have too much of an equal match against us, so we decide on a strategic retreat.
Guess. I mean,
I don't know. It's like
they are pretty equally matched. So I guess
it's frustrating to me because
makes sense.
If they are equally matched, well, they could beat them before when they were equally matched. Maybe I guess they have gotten stronger, but it's also like it didn't feel like they were losing. If they had felt like they were losing this whole time, then it would make sense.
Fair.
And it's also weird because as they're leaving, Knuckles and the Chaotix are there, so it's like, okay, well, let's just take them, and they're vastly outnumbered.
True. Because the issue's ending.
Yeah,
I guess
it does feel like a deliberate
This
just
feels to me
attempt
like
on the writer to just draw this out, basically.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, especially since they end up coming right back later. So, well, yeah, that's the end of that issue. It's fine. Feels a little flabby.
It's got a little bit too much in its midsection.
Yeah, which is weird to say because it's like, oh, yeah, now you don't feel so bad about the backup stories, do you? No, that's it's never been that the backup stories are a bad idea. You just have to know when and how to use them. Anyway.
Yeah.
Sonic number 191. Metal Sonic's here.
We've got even more fake Sonics.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We just need Shadow to show up.
Well, the story is called Metal and Metal, Part 1, Flynn and Yardley. The Suppression Squad have control over Freedom HQ, but Eggman didn't get the memo. Meanwhile, the Chaotix struggle to help Knuckles find his footing. So, yeah, Metal Sonic's here, as I said, on the freaking cover.
What was Robotnik's plan here?
Well, he's like...
Send Metal over to go, like, say hi?
Yeah, so we see that that's literally exactly what this is later. At this point, it's like, I don't know. But yes, that is basically confirmed later.
Okay, I thought, I got that was the impression I was getting, and it was like, is Robotnik just bored?
Yeah,
I mean,
so I don't want to touch on that yet because, like I said, that's very explicitly touched on later. So yeah, I'll get to that.
Okay,
but yes, basically.
Skimmed over that.
Yeah. It's funny actually. Eggman is talking through him Rivals 2 style, but ironically, this Metal Sonic still isn't quite the modern design for Metal Sonic because he's lacking the lower torso section. So,
interesting.
That doesn't matter, but anyway, Scourge says Sonic's not here, and Eggman's like, "Oh well, I'll go find him again." Wait, no, you're Sonic. That's good enough.
I can still beat the crap out of one hedgehog.
Yeah.
Yeah, like this guy isn't even from this universe. Why would he care what Sonic he's beating up?
Fair enough. Yeah.
Yeah.
All Sonics are the same as far as he's concerned.
Yep.
Meanwhile, back at Pneumo Metropolis, Sonic is arguing with the council because they're like, oh, well, they have control over Freedom HQ, and the council is like, well, we gotta focus on New Megapolis. We can deal with them later, so we'll just leave him there.
I mean, I get it.
Yeah, just like, well, they may have conquered their own world, but like they won't be so easy here. Like they're not really taking them seriously, which they shouldn't.
Honestly, I see no reason to take the Suppression Squad seriously still.
Yeah, it is a weird thing because it's like compared to Dr. Eggman, yeah.
Sure, yeah.
And as we'll be seeing, Metal Sonic gives them a run for their money all on his own.
Yeah.
This does create a bit of tension between Sonic and Knuckles, because Knuckles basically agrees with the council. He's like, you know, Sonic is like, well, you know, you don't have to just do what the people in power say. You should do what you think is right. And Knuckles is like, well, I tried doing that. My dad fucking died.
Yeah.
So, you know, we were talking about how is Knuckles going to stay in that mental funk, and it's like, he gets to be more active, but he's still clearly blaming himself for a lot of shit.
Yeah.
Which is good. I mean, it's bad for him, but it's good for the story.
It's good writing.
Yeah, I like that. I hate characters that are just like, well, I'm super sad, so I won't do anything. I like this better. It feels more believable. Like, I'll still do stuff, but like, I'm not happy.
This is also more interesting than just Knuckles sitting on his ass.
Knuckles hitting the Shinji Ikari.
Exactly.
No, because I say that, but like that is actually like real depression. But anyway.
Okay, yeah, but
anyway, Sonic, sword stealer that he is, decides to run out on his own and fight them. And well, he sees Scourge versus Metal going down, and I love Miles here, sitting here watching this and not doing anything to help.
I'm not sure what we should do.
Yeah, you conquered our world all on your own. If we helped you against one robot, wouldn't that be insulting? And that totally works on Scourge. He's like, yeah, no, don't do anything.
I love this, because we're gonna see more later too. Like, even though like Scourge got mad and the suppression squad got scared, that was only a momentary thing. Like, they're still very much willing to go against him in subtle ways, especially when it's plagued to his ego like this. This is great.
Yeah, well, that moment before was just he gave them a moment of reminder that he abuses the shit out of them.
Right.
Which means that, you know, the best thing that Sonic can do here is nothing. But instead he intervenes and he says, hey, I'll help. And then he puts himself on the back foot of both Scourge and Metal, who put aside their fight to attack him.
Yeah, who's calling a truce? No one, technically, but in this right moment, they're both attack you, which is funny. Yeah, I mean, this is like, you should have known better, Sonic. But this is like, you know, this is how Sonic works. Like, Sonic would try to help, even though it would never have worked.
Yeah.
Yep. And well, that's one fight. Now we have a different kind of fight between Knuckles and his girlfriend. Julie comes and talks to Knuckles. You know, obviously he's still lacking some direction. She's trying to help him, but he's just, you know, he's obviously still so messed up about everything. Mm-hmm. And she's like, well, you know, I can. Basically, they get into a big argument, because he keeps saying it's all my fault. I can't do what I think is right. And she's like, you need to stop running away from your problems and just deferring to other people. But unfortunately, Knuckles has a warp ring, so he can indeed run away from his problems.
Yeah.
I don't like this moment. Like, at first, their conversation, like, that kind of makes sense when they're disagreeing. Yeah. But then, like, I suppose maybe it's an attempt to snap Knuckles out of it. But, like, Julie randomly at the end just starts yelling at Knuckles. And it's like, why'd you escalate it like that? That there was no reason to do that. Like, they instantly realize their mistake, too. So it's like, you're just trying to force drama here or something?
Well, so part of it is that Knuckles keeps going, you know, why aren't you thinking about how I feel? And then Julie is like, do you not know how fucking bad the Enerjack stuff was? Why are you focusing on yourself? So I think she legitimately gets offended by the way that he says that. And it, you know, obviously prompts a bad lashing out.
Yeah.
I suppose.
It's not a fully good moment for her, but I understand it. Anywho, yeah, Knuckles runs away, and both of them obviously feel terrible about that. Meanwhile, Sonic is feeling terrible physically because he keeps getting the crap beaten out of him. Metal is happy to smack Scourge around too, and then, Sonic is like, hey, this is dumb. I started a dumb thing.
Stupid. Yeah, I mean, Sonic, you should just leave.
Yeah. He tries to appeal to Scourge. He tries to say, hey, you know, what if we take on this guy together? And Scourge is like, no, but hey, what if you ruled with me? And if I didn't know better, I'd say it honestly looks like Sonic's considering it, or at least caught off guard by this for a second. but I do know better.
Yeah, that's the impression I would have gotten, was like he's surprised by it.
So
Yeah.
here's the thing. This is a moment that you see sometimes where a writer like doesn't trust your intelligence, and like they're trying to trick you into thinking that maybe Sonic would consider this, and I'm like very offended by that. It's like, no, Sonic would
He
never
wouldn't.
actually consider this. However, the fact that they're playing it up here makes me suddenly double think, and I'm like, are you just gonna write Sonic badly here? Luckily they don't. But
No,
like I was
yeah, I
afraid for a
get it.
second.
Yeah, no, it's
It's
odd that he would even that they would even show him like potentially considering it.
yeah, and we learned later that he wasn't even, so it's like,
Right.
come on.
But they're framing it so much
They
like
are.
they are.
They are.
Yeah, yeah. It's a little bit of a forced drama. Yeah. Anyway, now Archimedes is here to talk Knuckles out of being a wet blanket.
And if anyone's gonna do it now, it's probably gonna be him.
Yeah, he
Good old
does
Archie.
know. But
Yeah, good old
the
Archie.
ironic thing is that he
It's
kind
not
of
even
doesn't.
Archimedes. It's fucking Charmy.
Charmy Tracker number 3. The ironic thing about all of this is that this is the first moment that we imply that anything is going on with Charmy, but he says this weird thing about the flowers, which ultimately comes across inadvertently mature enough to make Knuckles think about stuff.
I read
thing
that. I'm
is-
like, is this implying? Because this one felt a little bit like Charmy wasn't actually paying attention and just said some shit that was on his mind.
Absolutely.
That's the first time
Yeah.
where it really feels like the brain damage is actually doing something.
But it's
I mean,
not even
kind
that.
of.
A
But-
little bit, yeah.
But the
not
thing is, it
like-
actually like works, and
It
like
does
if you
work.
think about it, you're like, they're not
No,
saying complete nonsense here.
no. Even Knuckles is like, that was surprisingly relevant.
It's they have,
It's a weird moment, but I kind of like it.
they're writing the line a lot. It's very
They are.
it's like, yes, it does remind us that the egg grapes thing happened, but no, I would not say it would be like a problem exactly. It's so weird because I had such a conception about the brain damage thing, and it's not really feeling
It's
the way that
not-
people made it sound.
Not really, yeah. Because you mentioned it years ago to me, and I had like a specific way I was expecting it to be used in mind, and I've seen other people mention it, and I'm like, okay, there's no way that like they actually gave him brain damage, and the way it's being used is
They did do it, but
Certainly,
they have
they
not made it
did.
ridiculously ableist, I guess is what it is.
no. If anything, they did it, and then they've kind of had not backpedaled, but like
They've
sure what the
reframed
right
it in a
word-
way that makes it not feel that
Yeah.
bad.
yeah, it's just they've made him a little more, a little. I can't even say more childlike. He's just a little more odd.
Yeah. he got weirdness poisoning.
Which, you know what, I can appreciate that.
Yeah. Anyway, this makes Knuckles think like, okay, I'll go back home. And he and Julie apologize to each other and all that.
Yeah, I guess maybe the fact that they just like get over it instantly here is like that's why I thought earlier the argument was a bit played up between Knuckles and Julie, but
Yeah,
like,
maybe a little bit.
it's fine.
Yeah. Well, and it is, one of those stark contrast moments because they're not mad at each other for like 9 issues or whatever.
Right.
And we have a
It's
bunch of
for a few
backup
pages.
stories about them angsting over it or something.
Yeah, it's only a
Yeah.
few pages.
Yeah. I mean, it's the panel where they do apologize is, I think, perfect. I'm messed up right now. Can I say I'm sorry now and work on it later? Sure, I'm sorry for
Sure,
yelling.
sorry for
Okay.
yelling.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah.
We've got more important things to worry about right now.
Yeah. So Sonic's battle is not going well, but don't worry, it can get worse. It's
Yeah,
Eggman throws
a toaster shows up.
a quote-unquote metal Scourge at them. You just gave this thing a paint job.
No, he's a toaster. He's got the stupid scars on his chest also.
I think this is kind of dumb. It's dumb, but I almost respect it in its dumbness.
Oh god, yes, I respect it, but it's so dumb.
Well, yeah, I mean, I was like, first of all, like Eggman cobbling together a Metal Sonic, I'll believe that if like that's the only thing they're focusing
Sure.
on. But then
Yeah.
another Metal Sonic in such short time,
And he just spray
No,
paints him green and gives him Guy Fieri
no,
arms.
there's no way. But it is stupid enough that I kind of love it, so I'll accept it this once.
I can appreciate this. Yeah, this
Yeah.
is stupid, but like
It's more the
in a
thing
fun
that,
way.
as I mentioned, Sega started complaining about later on, where, Metal Sonic doesn't seem to be much of a character. It's just a disposable robot we can throw at people.
Yeah, Metal's used more like a badnik in these comics.
I mean,
Yeah.
Sega doesn't do much better a lot of the time.
No, but there's
at
only
least they
ever
made it
one
clear,
Metal
like,
Sonic in the games.
yeah, blue Metal Sonic is the same Metal Sonic all the time, whereas
This
in
is
this
Metal
comic, we've
Scourge. What do you mean? This wasn't a paid job. It's completely different.
Okay.
how many metals have we seen in this comic so far? Like
Let's
just
see.
Metal Sonics?
Let's see.
At least like 4?
Metal Sonic 1 is the one from number 25, and he got
Right.
rebuilt into the one that saves him from the lava.
Right.
Then there was I guess it would be Metal Sonic 2 would be the one that was built for the good, the bad, and the unknown with Isaac and that missile and all that. And he
Mhm.
continued on for a while before exploding. I'm not sure exactly where.
So there's been at least
This is at least
3 or
the third one, if we're
4.
not counting the Metal Troopers, which are their own thing.
Yeah, I'm not counting them. So it's we're sitting at least at 3, maybe at 4 if you want to count Metal Sonic 1 as 2 different Metal Sonics.
No,
he's
you actually
technically only
shouldn't, because
one.
he is explicitly a personality of his own.
That's true.
Anyway, we do have a backup story in this issue. It's called Invaders from Beyond. It's written by Flynn and drawn by Yardley. Knuckles and Tails build a trap for a mysterious band of marauders, but General Shade proves too much for them.
Okay, I saw the little thing on the cover and then I forgot about it. So this surprised me again.
I didn't even notice it on the cover, so this completely shocked me.
It's a Sonic Chronicles prequel.
I
Yeah.
didn't expect this at all.
And it's also the first example of a story in these comics using the Another Time, Another Place heading, which is... There's a few Archie stories that do this, which are basically... We're doing a preview for the game, but this is not in the Archie continuity.
That makes sense.
That's
They're-
very smart. Much better than like what the heck happened with Rush Adventure, for instance.
Yep, the Rush
Yeah.
ones are.
It's definitely a case of we don't have anywhere to fit this, so we're just making a little offshoot timeline.
Right.
That being said, especially with some of the later ones of these, it makes them feel completely superfluous. In this case, Chronicles isn't canon to the games anyway, so you could say that this goes in line with that because you're seeing something that you never saw in the game, and you could say this is canon to Chronicles, I guess.
You know what? Fair enough.
You took the words right out of my mouth. I was going to say that exact thing. I was expecting, oh, this will be like the other adaptations where it's just like a bit of it. But I quickly realized, no, wait a minute. This is a scene, from Chronicles that we didn't see in Chronicles, and it doesn't contradict anything either.
Sure.
Yep. So, Knuckles and Tails, they built the trap for the Dark Brotherhood, and they took apart the tornado to build it and baited them with a Chaos Emerald.
Yeah, I actually forgot that was a thing that happened in the game, but that's why it takes Tails a little bit to fix the tornado. So yeah, that's this game compliant.
Fascinating.
So indeed, some Nocturnus, whichever ones these are, I don't remember what their ranks are.
It could
They
be
show up.
several because they reuse models for different ones.
Yeah. They show up, and it's like, they destroy the trap because it didn't work.
Yeah, they.
But, that's an opportunity for Knuckles to get to knocking some heads, and wow, he's way stronger here than it feels like they are in the games by that point. But,
Or it's because they rotted in prison and lost their strength. They were actually really strong before being in prison a while.
oh, of
Nice,
course.
Of course.
So, Knuckles, he holds his own, but then Shade shows up to handle it personally. And, she... Well, actually, I say she handles it personally, and then she says nothing personal. Nothing personnel, kid. But,
I love that. I was going to point that out if you didn't. I will remember this from now on. When I replay Chronicles and I rescue Knuckles, I'll be like, it's rough, man. You got beat up by Shade after they hit you with a nothing personal.
yeah. So they get the emerald, but Shade is like, actually, don't kill Knuckles. They're like, we should kill him? No, we're not monsters, right? And I do like that. That displays part of her personality, that why she would eventually end up going against Ix. Nice even just this little bit, they've added slightly more depth to a game concept.
I'm glad you pointed that out, because I was thinking I was going to reach a little bit when I would have pointed out the same thing, but you've noticed it
Yeah,
as
no,
well.
it
Even
does,
just
yeah.
this little interaction here, it makes me a little sad, because like, man, if we got like a more expansive story in the comics of Chronicles, like maybe they could have like fleshed out other things as well. But
That
that's
would have
okay.
actually been interesting, yeah.
It's
So
okay.
Ian
I'll
did
take
want
this
to
little
do
thing.
that, but
That's
Oh,
great.
okay. Well,
they
that
just
makes
didn't
sense,
have
I
enough
suppose.
time because of the reboot and lawsuits and all that.
Right.
So yeah, Tails runs away, and yeah, all the stuff from the game is being foreshadowed, and yeah, not exactly a big expansion, but it's something, you know.
It's
They should
neat.
have included this comic with the game. I think that's what Secret Rings comic did, and we didn't even
Oh,
cover that
yeah.
one. And actually,
Interesting.
Oh,
yeah,
that's-
shit, at some point.
That's crazy because now that I'm saying it, I did later find out the Secret Rings, it's not a prequel comic, but the Secret Rings comic and the prequel comic for Lost World are two comics that are made by the Archie team, but are actually mainline canon, which I did not know.
Huh. Interesting.
Huh. Yeah.
Anyway, so maybe if we cover like Project Reignition, if that's finished this year, we'll talk about it. I don't know. But moving on, Sonic number 192. The colors on this cover are awesome.
Oh yeah, this cover looks cool.
Stylish.
I almost feel like it's a reference to something, but I don't think it is.
It could be. I'm not sure.
Their poses are too like actual Sonic, but anyway. Metal and Metal Part 2, Flynn and Yardley. Sonic continues his battle with Scourge and Metal Sonic, now with a Metal Scourge in the mix, but mutinous thoughts are brewing in both the Dark Egg Legion and Scourge's own Suppression Squad. So, a Sonic, a Metal Sonic, and a Metal Sonic. Sonic and Scourge actually do briefly take a moment to team up temporarily for these clowns.
Yeah, Scourge finally realizes
Kind of
that
neat.
like they've never had to deal with metal copies like this. So like,
Right.
Yeah. I do love that we get to cut to Eggman just absolutely having a blast watching this.
okay, yeah. So this is the moment I was alluding to earlier, because Eggman here, yeah, is just having a ball, and like it's clear they're just enjoying the moment, and then Dimitri like criticizes them and is like, "What are you doing?" Kind of reminds me of what Snively did at one point to Eggman as well. This is why Archie Eggman is incredible too, because like Dimitri is like, well, don't why are you wasting time? Don't I value like my Dark Legion, and like you can't just use them like as guards while you just mess around here. But then Eggman's like, oh, of course I value your Legion as much as you do. I value them so much that I intend to use up every single last one. And then they're like, oh, by the way, I planted bombs if you get any mutinous thoughts.
Yes.
And then they just go back to cheering up to the two Metal Sonics. So like, you know, they can just flip on a dime between their two modes. It's great.
That's great. I love it.
This is the best. I love this moment because Dimitri, he thinks that he's in control. He's like, I have to work with this crazy old scientist, but you know, I got my people. And he's like, you know, well, why are you slacking behind? I do need to actually protect my people. And he's like, oh, don't worry. I have great plans for your people. I can detonate them whenever I want, and that'll be very useful to me. And he's like, you what? And he's like, yeah, run along now. It's so fucking good. The moment of just the looks of regret on Dimitri as well. It's so evil and awesome.
It's great. It seems like probably to help like keep things a little more interesting from a writing standpoint, but I like it in universe too that this version of Eggman is like, I'm not gonna have a huge grand scheme every single time. Like he's like, I'll take a vacation since like my whole city's in ruins. I'll just throw a few funny Metal Sonics around and then they'll be good for now.
Yeah, I do wish that I think this would have been a good time for Eggman to mention something else that is going on in the background with the Dark Egg Legion, but it doesn't come up yet. So it's gonna. I think you guys are gonna know what it is, and it's gonna feel a little abrupt when it does happen. But
Interesting. Okay.
anyway, Sonic tries to move the fight away from Freedom HQ, and then Scourge is like, "No, I don't want to do that. I'm too arrogant to make good decisions." Even when Fiona is like, "Hey, do you want some help?" and he's like, "No." The manic expression on him is great. Get it? Manic expression on a green Sonic. Sorry.
Yeah, I got it.
Yeah. I was about to say.
I'm sorry. Also, Boomer's cybernetics have turned yellow.
Yeah, I
I
noticed
noticed that. I like it. That's. I think that's better.
the gold
than
does
the
look a little
boring-
better. The gray kind of
boring
blends in with
gray.
the purple.
Yeah, it does, and it's actually a fun bit of foreshadowing if they did it on purpose. But he and Miles note that Sonic is just too good of a guy to let Scourge get killed by the Metal Sonics, even at cost to himself.
Yeah, because like things would be a lot easier if right here Sonic could just let Metal just seemingly just murk Scourge.
Yeah, which is exactly what
True.
Miles and the rest of the squad are doing.
Yep.
And
This
the
is
other
where they
squad.
mentioned that Patch actually lost an eye for real this time.
Yeah.
Yeah, which they say don't imply anything seditious, Miles. Also, Patch is green now. His coat was blue last time.
I didn't even notice that.
Alicia's is also Alicia's now blue. She was gray.
Oh yeah, I think that she was blue in the old ones though, because she's the only one that doesn't have a new outfit.
Yeah, her original outfit was blue, and then they made it gray just for when they showed up at Freedom HQ, and now it's back to blue, which is
Which is
interesting.
weird because this is all I think the same colorist. But anyway,
Yeah, editor came in and said, "Wait, we need different colors, or go back to OG color."
I don't know. And yeah, Scourge took Patch's fucking eye. But Miles's words, they do have an effect, Sonic makes friends, Scourge casts out allies. Siding with one could give them an advantage. So yeah. Meanwhile, Dimitri tells Leonda, "Hey, we've all got bombs inside us."
That's got to be a wonderful thing to have your boss tell you.
Boss, grandfather, etc.
I couldn't remember if he was grandfather or not. I was pretty sure he was.
He is grandfather. But yeah, Leonda, she's such a piece of shit. I love that she tries to blame him for this when she was absolutely trying to do the exact same thing.
Well, she's the reason why they have their cybernetics back, even.
Yeah, Dimitri suggested a partnership, but he didn't actually say anything about the cybernetics. That was her whole deal.
Yeah, Leonda specifically went to Eggman to get the cybernetics because I guess the Legion's so reliant on cybernetics.
I mean, they're just dudes otherwise, but
Right. Well, we've seen plenty of just dudes who can fight in these comics.
Yeah. Well, yeah, but the Legion isn't that.
True, they are just dudes with cybernetics.
Yeah. Anyway, so yeah, it's like Dimitri at this point is clearly in just a state of like, I want to do what's best for my people. And he's even thinking about getting Knuckles' help. Leonda says, "You're not thinking of talking to Knuckles." He says, "Not yet."
Not yet, but that's not off the table, clearly.
Yeah. So I just like that he's the more rational, more dedicated guy between the two of them.
Yeah, which is interesting because I would expect him to be completely lost at being how old he is, and
yeah, it's like he's become
Dimitri-
less of a crazy old man with time.
Yeah, because I swear we've previously when we've seen him, he was the crazy old man.
100%, but they've become wise in their ultra old age,
Which
basically.
I kind of appreciate.
No, it's cool to see them take a turn like this.
Yeah, makes me actually like Dimitri because I feel like previously I didn't particularly like him. I didn't dislike him.
I think that
this makes him more interesting.
I think that we always saw the potential of Dimitri, and now we're realizing some of that.
Yeah, the concept of his character was good, but now we're actually getting to see it go somewhere.
Yeah, being a head in a bubble gives you new perspective on things.
Yeah, I think that's probably part of it, also. But yeah, just everything they've been through, and
yeah. Sonic and Scourge are still tied up with the metals, and Sonic says this would be easy with a little help. And Scourge is like, no, we can't get help. And then Sonic's like, just fucking do it, man. And he's like, fine. He's so mad about it. But with the rest of the squad, the metals go down in seconds.
Of course.
Yeah, obviously.
Because the metals are like kind of pathetic in these comics.
Yeah. Well, outnumbering them is a good strat, is the point.
Yeah, oh yeah.
And they're built to take on Sonic specifically, so when you have other people
Right.
in the mix.
Exactly.
And yes, Sonic is like, yeah, when you asked for a team up, I didn't consider it for a second. I was just caught off guard by how fucking stupid you sounded.
Yeah.
So, yeah, a clear rift is now drawn, though, between Scourge and the rest of his team, because he's so upset about having to get help from them, and he shits on them, and Fiona is the only one who's like, yeah, you tell him. I mean, he's talking about Sonic, but he's, clearly not, you can see the literal divide on the page between the rest of the squad and the two of them.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's funny. If you had any doubt that Scourge definitely does not have it together at all, this shows,
yeah.
because like the thing is, in the first place, Scourge was like, all right, I'm gonna come and beat up Sonic, and that didn't work on their own. So like, okay, I'll go and I'll bring some friends, and then like they instantly ditched their friends that they brought. Well, they're not friends, but they're unwilling allies. So it's like they're not. There's no thought here. They're totally blinded by their pride.
Yeah. Well, when we talk, when you guys mentioned last week the Moebius versions are the worst versions of the heroes, this really is, Sonic's headstrong qualities in their absolute worst, and it works really well.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, Elias is now here, telling Sonic, you disobeyed the council again. You're still...
They should expect him to do this at this point, to be honest.
Yeah, but it's like, we are a society, we have rules, damn it. But they end up giving him a slap on the wrist, basically, by leaving it up to Sally to decide what to do, and she says, okay, Sonic, you're leading an invasion in Scourge's dimension. An eye for an eye.
This is kind of ridiculous. Like, it's very obvious that Flynn is just having too much fun. With this whole concept, it's like, oh, wouldn't it be funny if they invaded Moebius as a rebuttal? Because like this is, there's no real reason to do this. I don't understand this plan at all. But like, I'm down. Sure, why not?
I think yes, on the one hand. On the other hand, it's clearly a schism between Sally and the council, I think, that's deciding this, because Sally clearly wanted to get rid of Scourge herself, and the council was like, no, focus on Eggman. And Sally's like, well, you guys give me the power to make some of these decisions. I disagree. And also, like, yes, that is true. That's like, okay, let's just go and fuck up Moebius for fun. But it also means
this doesn't get you any closer to defeating Scourge.
No, but I also think that there's another reason they did it, which is that they're going to be gone doing that, which gives us the opportunity for this backup story here. It's called Father and Son. It's written by Flynn, drawn by John Gray, making a re-entrance on the comics after quite a while.
Oh, yeah.
Scourge breaks into Sonic's house in the middle of the night and has a confrontation with Jules.
I didn't think about how this wouldn't have made sense if they weren't gone, but you're right. Yeah. I mean, I do like this story. This is interesting. But I first have to ask, how did Scourge get into Mobotropolis?
That's a good question.
Yeah, because Nicole wouldn't let him in.
Unless...
There's no way. Like,
just
Eggman can't get into Mobotropolis. How can Scourge get in?
Unless maybe this was a request by Jules?
My best guess is maybe... well, we don't know exactly how Nicole's security systems work, so maybe it's encoded to, like, the DNA of the people, and she has everybody logged, and because Scourge's DNA would be identical to Sonic's, the system would just recognize him as Sonic.
Yeah.
Okay, that's a better explanation than no explanation, so I'll take it, I suppose.
You do make a good point, though, because I didn't even think about that. Like, how the hell did he get in?
That is a good question.
I think the writers didn't think about it either.
Yeah, well, they clearly wanted a big confrontation between Jules and Scourge here, so...
Yeah.
Well, I do like that, so it's fine.
Yes, I like that he mistakes Jules for a Metal Sonic at first, but
makes sense.
They get into an argument which really makes up this entire story, because Jules is basically like, you're a coward.
I absolutely love this moment near the start when Scourge is like, you're trying to prove you're not afraid of me, and Jules is like, what's to be afraid of?
Yeah, why would I be afraid of you?
Yeah, you're my son, but an asshole.
Yeah, you're just a pathetic asshole version of Sonic. What's to be afraid of?
I got, blown up so much in a war that I have to be in this robot body now.
Yeah, he even says I almost died saving my son once, and he's been through a lot of shit. What's the point of being scared of Scourge? Hell, I feel like if I was in the same room as Scourge, I wouldn't be afraid of him either.
Yeah, I think what Jules is referring to there is when he got that drill in his chest, though.
Yeah, I believe so.
From fucking Auto Automaton Tommy the Turtle, which seems like just a years and years ago at this point, which for us I guess it literally is. But you know, Scourge is so offended by the coward coming. He's like, I conquered the planet on my own, and then we get to see sort of what we've been talking about, which is that not really. I mean, kind of, but not really. He launches into his whole backstory, which is interesting because, you know, we knew that he was the evil Sonic, but we didn't really know anything about his world.
Yeah, we've only seen bits of it.
Yeah, but in their world, Jules ended up being the one to unite the world by telling everyone to be nice, I guess. I don't know what he did.
Yeah, they don't really say what he did, just something.
But he neglected his son in the process, and the peace that he brought did not end up lasting. I guess they ran out of money. I don't know.
Okay, so this isn't terribly clear. I don't blame you for having a completely different interpretation than me. The way I read this was that Scourge's father, yeah, I mean that's indistinct, but I guess they somehow just made a big alliance and stopped all conflict or something. But the way I read it was Scourge was like, and that was boring, so I killed my dad.
Well, he definitely did kill his dad. That much is true.
Like, and then after Scourge did that, just everything fell apart instantly. I mean, probably Scourge also roughed up other stuff too, if I have to imagine. And maybe with the original Evil Freedom Fighters too, who knows? Like, I read this as like, things were fine, but a little boring. And then Scourge literally ruined everything.
Yeah, definitely. So maybe it is that he's the one who got rid of the piece.
That's the way I interpreted it, but I don't know. I mean, this another thing to consider. This is told from Scourge's mouth, so like, this could
he's
be
not a
very
reliable
falsified.
narrator.
Yeah, he could just be talking out of his ass.
Yeah. Well, and thankfully, regardless of what he says, Jules doesn't care. He's like, I have lived with a serious disability for years. I was a mindless slave for even longer. I fought in a massive war before that. I'm not your dad. I don't live in a world of cowards. You know, you could do what you want, and if you do, you'll have my Sonic to answer to. And it's crazy, you know, because, you know, my son actually cares about his dad, and literally just by him saying all this, talking at him, he gets Scourge to run off.
In tears.
He is so broken and indignant.
Just didn't expect that coming from a version of his dad who we always thought of as pathetic, probably.
Yeah.
And it means that Jules is absolutely fucking right. Scourge is a fucking coward.
Yeah, he's a coward and a loser. I mean, we've already called him a loser, but now we get to see he's a coward also.
It's great. He's the worst. I adore how much he sucks.
It's funny. I've known Kayla to have this love-hate relationship with Scourge for so long. Getting more of him now, I understand it.
Yeah, he is an excellently constructed, horrible character.
Yeah, he is just a terrible, terrible man that I love.
Yeah, and it also shows, you know, the strength of Jules's character, who we've always liked pretty much.
Oh yeah, they've been consistently good, I would say.
Of all the Ken Pender's family members, it's nice that like Sonic's dad is actually like a good dad.
True.
Yeah.
And it shows, you know, these two different upbringings made these two Sonics very different people.
It is interesting.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Scourge is the epitome of the concept of a one bad day.
Yeah.
Whether or not, yeah. I mean, generally, I agree with that take on him.
Yeah. And I do love our ending here as well, with Bernadette waking up and being like, "Who are you talking to?" And he says, "Nobody."
No one.
Awesome, badass.
Okay, wait a minute. So now I'm thinking maybe Nicole messed up like you said at the beginning and like was accidentally recognized Scourge as Sonic, realized their mistake, but then saw they were like going to Jules like, "Oh, it'll be fine.
Jules can handle this."
or maybe it was intentional strategy. If I let Scourge invade Sonic's house, he'll be so distraught realizing how much Jules is better.
Yeah.
Anyway, good story, decent issue. Sonic number 193 now. Blue Omega. We haven't even had the red one yet.
That's
what I was gonna say. They introduced the alternate universe version of Omega first.
Wait,
Yeah.
yeah, I hadn't even thought about that. We haven't seen Omega yet, huh?
We also have a fucking black and white analog horror drawing of the werehog in the top right.
Yeah, we have Demon Werehog in the top corner, so that's cool.
Mandela catalog werehog or whatever. Anyway, this is Other Side Part 1, How the Other Half Lives, Flynn and Yardley. Sonic and Amy invade Scourge's dimension to look for a way to liberate Freedom HQ from the corrupt hedgehog. Meanwhile, back home, the Freedom Fighters discover the answer may be closer than expected. And, yeah, Amy's going on this mission with Sonic.
I was surprised it was that Amy was coming along.
Yeah. Yeah, they really don't waste any time. It's like we have one conversation with Sally where Sonic's like, why do I have to bring Amy? And it's like, because Amy is cool and good,
Because
so she goes with
say
you.
so.
Yeah. And,
because the writers demand it.
Yeah. Well, it's because they have something planned for this, really.
Yeah,
but it's fine. Amy is capable. She can help.
Yeah.
So they go there, and they land in a mansion, I think, or someplace, and
we know exactly where this is later. So like, just say you'll see.
Yeah. Well, I think I wrote that before I had finished reading. I was like, I don't remember where this is. But they immediately get attacked by Blue Omega, Blue Peace Sign Omega. Hey, that's Lauren's thing.
Right, that's right. I have exclusive rights to the blue peace symbol. I lent it to Omega because it's very funny.
Okay. That's
Blue Omega talking in a southern accent, even.
I didn't notice that, but you're right.
I did notice the southern accent, and I'm like,
Yeah. And it's funny, Amy's like, wanna bet this hunk of junk means Anti-Robotnik is here? And Sonic's like, yeah, it's about time he built a bot, so why are you attacking it? You know the guy.
Yeah, you've met Anti-Robotnik. He's generally last time you saw him, he was a good guy.
I guess the Omega's attacking them, so.
True.
It's self-defense.
Yeah, I mean, you could just assume, like, if this is from Anti-Robotnik, this is probably self-defense.
Yeah. Well, in case in point, it doesn't have, missiles and lasers. It has quick-drying cement and confusion beams.
Riot foam and, like, high-frequency sound emitters.
Yeah. It does still have the claws, though, because that can break the shit and, break the ground. But anyway.
Don't worry about it. It's fine.
So, then Thin Eggman comes running.
Wow, Kinto Burr really lost a lot of weight. Well, good for them, I suppose.
Yeah, good for him.
Yeah, they gave him a pretty significant redesign from when he was just Robotnik 1 in a doctor's uniform.
Right.
Makes sense.
Yeah, it makes sense.
Yeah. And he refers to Blue Mega as Buns. Interesting.
I mean, at this point, it's pretty obvious what's going on. At least to me, it was.
Well, part of what's going on, but...
part of what's going on.
Yeah, he identifies that Sonic is good Sonic.
Yeah.
And says, I noticed that Scourge and his goons weren't here, so, welcome. Let's tour my dimension. Sorry for attacking you. We didn't realize.
And no harm other than the disorientation beam and the riot foam.
Yeah. Anyway, so back home, everybody is just kind of waiting around, but, hey, Miles shows up.
Yeah.
And Nicole does detect him to get everybody, signals them to go there, so, yeah, I really don't know what was going on with Scourge.
Yeah, now that's interesting.
We do get a little more lip service about how Rotor really can't participate in fights anymore, and I think they're playing this up because, let's just say his story is far from over.
Sure, I mean, it did feel like we're really trying to push home, like, no more fights for Rotor. It's like, okay, he's gonna have to do one big thing, whatever it is.
Yep.
Yeah. They got rid of the neck brace and put the jacket back on, though. I do think that this is, like, his best design, with the glasses and the jacket.
Design. I do like this design.
So, yeah. But anyway, yes, Miles. He says that Scourge sent him to bomb the city, but he doesn't want to do that, and also he's not really going to be able to do that.
Sure, which, yeah, fair enough, yeah.
Everyone hates Scourge even more than they hate the Prime Zoners. They're the ones who had to live with him after all.
You know what? That is fair enough.
So he is here to suggest working together.
Interesting.
And then we cut back again. You know, these comics, they love their dueling plot lines, and
Oh,
it
yeah.
is good in this case, but it makes it like slightly annoying to talk about. But
It's a little all over the place.
well, it's not that it's all over the place, because reading it in the moment is fine.
No, all over the place is wrong. I can't think of the right word.
It's not structured for reviewing exactly.
Yeah, there's a specific word I'm trying to think of, but it doesn't matter. I can't think of what it.
Yeah. So, Thin Eggman introduces himself as Ivo Kintober, which is not what they called him before, but it's fine.
It's fine. Everyone's had a rename to like.
You know, I didn't even blink twice at that because I just
didn't
thought of
either.
Sonic the comic. But I guess you're right. They didn't call them that originally.
Yeah, I didn't even think about that either, but yeah.
Yeah.
There, like I said earlier, there's absolutely no reason that the team should be here. However, I'm very glad the comic brought us here because this whole moment like fixes something that I thought was preposterous. Because when Moebius first showed up, like it was just like a gag comic basically. Is like don't think too hard about it.
Sure.
I thought it was stupid that like, oh, there's just a good Robotnik in like a hospital tower, and like the freedom fighters don't just like bomb that place or something. Like there's no way that guy could operate for any extended period of time with the evil freedom fighters around. So now that they're like, oh yeah, you see, I've made a big force field, and as we saw, they have like a guard robot now. It's like, okay, now I can actually believe that this guy could like,
that all tracks now.
stand against them.
Yeah, well, and, force fields over cities has become a weirdly recurring trope in these comics, because Robotropolis had one for a while, now New Robotropolis has one, and now we're seeing that the Medicinal Tower in the Grand Forest has one. Or Hospital Tower, yeah. So, I guess it's a convenient thing to have, but...
I mean, it would be.
Yeah. And yeah, he's a doctor of medicinal science. I'm pretty sure before they just called him a fucking veterinarian because the Sonic characters are animals.
Yeah.
But I guess those two practices are kind of mixed in this world.
Yeah, I mean, that makes sense.
He's also the one that built the Star Post in this timeline because he wanted to see if other zones had new medical techniques, but the Suppression Squad stole them.
Mm-hmm.
And we open up Blue Omega to see that Auntie Bunny, or Buns as they call her, is inside.
That's interesting.
That is interesting, yeah.
We brought it up last time, and okay, they were really thinking. Okay, good job. They didn't. They were conspicuous in their absence, and so there you go.
It fairly quickly. I appreciate that.
Yeah, and we see that this is not just a mech suit for fighting; it is also a medical unit all of its own because she has the same disease Maria did.
Yeah, she's got NIDS.
I did not expect that.
I remember reading that at some point. Now that I think about it, but I definitely did not remember that when I was reading this.
Yeah, but that's like a crazy thing because that means that in one timeline, one Robotnik was able to find at least a suitable treatment for it.
Right.
It's not like a permanent cure, but yeah.
It's not a permanent cure, but also like.
But yeah.
Yeah. Well, and also it's like, okay, well, you have to be in a big chunky robot. No, she requested the weapons.
Right.
So
yeah, she requested the weapons as seemingly as for defense to help.
Yeah,
so it's very funny.
I do like that Sonic is like, wow, like that's cool. Maybe you should make more. Well, actually, Amy says maybe you should make more guard robots like this. But then Kintober is like, no. That's why they're called Omega, because it's a last resort. I refuse to make any more. And I'm like,
I like that
wait,
reasoning. That's a
what?
neat name.
The name has a relevance. I don't think regular Omega's name has relevance.
I don't think it does. It's really neat that this Omega suit its name does have relevance.
Well, our Omega, that is a Game Omega, I don't think there are any E-series that come after him, so you could also say he's the last of the E-series.
Sure, yeah.
Okay, yeah, I suppose that makes sense in retrospect, but it's weird. I mean, maybe they were supposed to be like the ultimate model or something, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, and now that I'm saying it, I don't know if that's contradicted by those Gamma lookalikes being called E1000s, but they come before Omega, so whatever. Yeah. No, it's all a good twist, and it's an interesting mix of different comic and game ideas.
Yeah.
And I like also that, she says that she wants to protect the doc as well, which, really goes to show that, no, the people of this universe are not evil by nature.
No.
Scourge is full of shit.
Yeah, you just show them some compassion and it's like, oh, I'm willing to help.
Yeah.
That is neat. I like that. Yeah, they're not all just like
they're all not all
paper
bastards.
thin. Yeah, characters.
Yeah. Anyway, Sonic and Amy ask about who they can get to help fight against Scourge. Ivo here is all about pacifism, but the only person that he and Buns can come up with is Rosie, the anti-Amy.
Oh boy.
And it's like, I wonder what she's like. And I love, I love these parallels with the dialogue changing between scenes, because Ivo says she hates Scourge, and then Miles says we hate Scourge.
That is good.
Everybody hates this asshole.
Yeah, understandable.
And yeah, Miles, he also recaps a bunch of the stuff Scourge has done, including conquering Angel Island.
And seeming, I get the impression that just straight up killing Anti-Knuckles as well.
They don't say that.
Yeah, but with how much these comics have now been willing to actually kill characters.
I would rather not have too many characters killed off screen.
Well, no, we're seeing the before, we're seeing it almost happen here.
Yeah, it just looks like he's stepping on Onux here. Which Onux is his name, I remember.
I get the idea that Scourge wouldn't just kill Onux.
Maybe.
Like they would rather beat them down and leave them humiliated.
I think it's just
that's the way I would think anyway.
I think it's just they don't say it, which means that you can't prove that it happened. And also, it's like, well, they might use him for something later. I don't know.
Sure.
And I don't know. Part of it is also that, like, he's not a bad dude. We knew Onux was, like, an okay guy.
He was fine.
So I don't know if they would just take it, because he was, like, the sole focus of a whole issue. And I don't know if they would do that, kill a character off screen. It's not like Ivan Kentober.
Fair.
Anyway. Miles also just insults Tails for good measure. And it's so funny, because he says, please don't talk, little boy. We're trying to have an intelligent conversation. So he's, like, questioning Tails' age. You're the same age.
You're the same age, and, I mean, within reason, Tails is probably smarter than you.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I don't think that Miles is shown with any technical prowess.
Not, at least not yet. Not at the moment.
Yeah, I assumed just from the fact that they had to steal Star Posts that they weren't very technical.
Right.
Yeah. Anyway, so yes, we do indeed have an alliance. Two groups with one goal, make him pay. So, yeah. I love how doting Kentober is, checking on all these guys before they go out to find Rosie.
It's very interesting comparing him to regular Robotnik.
I think it's kind of adorable. I think
I like it, especially with especially with Buns. He's so like, your system's all running. Are any tune-ups you need?
Yeah. So yeah, and Amy is I love her expression. She's so happy that Sonic is carrying her because she can't keep up otherwise. So yeah, they head towards. Do they call it Mobotropolis? What is this city?
I don't think they give it a name.
Castle Acorn.
They do say it's Castle Acorn, so I have to assume it's former Mobotropolis.
It's nothing Tropolis now. It's a wasteland, basically.
It's a wasteland with just the ruins of a castle.
Yeah, it never became Robotropolis anyway. So
right, yeah.
And yeah, they head inside the castle. And I love they introduce Rosie almost like a serial killer. She is stalking them from the shadows, creepily like singing to herself.
She's like a fucking horror monster. I love it. It's so weird.
Yeah, and yeah, they get to the throne room where she's just chilling, and it's really amazing how they can take classic Amy's design, make her a little bit taller, and just by how they draw her pupils, make her look utterly fucking unhinged all the time.
Yeah.
Rosie's design is really good.
I like yeah.
Good character all around, both from a design standpoint and personality. Because at first they're like, oh yeah, Rosie hates Scourge, and I'm like, oh okay, so like Amy likes Sonic, so Rosie hates Scourge. But it's not quite that actually.
It's not
It
quite that
Rosie is
simple,
actually
yeah.
still obsessed with Scourge, but
Right.
in a completely opposite kind of a way. Like they are their number one person that they want to smash, but they're obsessed
Right.
with it.
Scourge. She thinks Scourge is like her favorite toy almost.
Basically.
I'm remembering. I'm remembering when the fucking Deltarune Spamton plushes were released, and I just saw video after video of people doing violence toward their Spamton plushies. It
is
it
kinda
reminds
like
me a
that.
lot of that. And yeah, I guess the Ring of Acorns in this dimension has some insanity juice in it.
Yeah, because she does mention that she used the ring to make herself older, and it sort of worked, but it also drove her a little crazy.
Yeah. And fun fact, in the modern classic games, Mania, Superstars, Origins Plus, etc., Classic Amy has blue shoes. And that is, I think, in part because of this design, because in Sonic
Interesting.
CD, her shoes are purple.
Right, yeah. I hadn't noticed that. Huh.
So that is the second case.
Maybe, could be a coincidence.
Well, here's the thing, that happened to Ray too, so I think it's on purpose.
Yeah, I don't. This is around the point where Sega would have been getting more involved in these comics, so I can see that not being a coincidence.
Yeah, but
Huh.
for some reason, the lasting legacy of the Archie comics has been neoclassic characters getting blue shoes.
Wild.
Anyway, she's attacking them. That's our cliffhanger.
Right.
And our backup story is Sonic Unleashed, Flynn and Yardley. Part of the Sonic Unleashed intro happens with different dialogue and no Chip.
Oh, I completely skimmed over this. I didn't even read the dialogue.
Yeah, this is the exact opposite of the Chronicles story. It's not showing us something that we haven't seen. In fact, it's just a lesser version of something we did see.
Right.
Yeah, it's just a scene from Unleashed, but they've actually like changed details here because like they didn't have a whole conversation in the game.
That's true. They just had a little. They had maybe a couple, one like back and forth, and then Eggman sucked Sonic dry. I shouldn't have said that.
Yeah, Sonic is super. He's like, you played nice. I wouldn't have to break all your toys. Except he doesn't say that because that's not the lines now.
Right.
And then yeah, he's like, I'll pretend to be beaten, and then I'll suck the energy out of you. And then he's like,
Is that what happened in the game? I can't remember.
Yeah, because it depowers Sonic and the Emeralds. The weird thing is that, like, they show Sonic get shocked, and then he's on the floor, and then he starts turning into Werehog, where in the games that happened while he was getting shocked and Eggman was using his power to fire the laser.
Okay, yeah, I knew this wasn't quite the same.
Yeah. Well, and it's also odd because they just don't show the laser firing at all.
Right. It just suddenly happens.
Yeah. So, yeah, he's
The world
Werehog.
was already cracked in this version.
Apparently.
Apparently.
He gets Werehogged, Eggman sends him down to Earth with the Emeralds, stupidly, again. Sonic lands, and he's like...
Here Eggman is, like, freaked out by the Werehog. And is like, get it away from me! You can take the Emeralds, too! I'm too scared of you! They don't say that, but that's the way it comes off.
Yeah, no, you're right. That is weird. So yeah, Sonic lands, and he's like, oh, what happened to the Emeralds? Why did I turn into this Werehog? And then he turns back to normal, and there's no Chip. I mean, I don't need Chip, but...
It's kind of weird, though, because, like, why wouldn't you show Chip? Because Chip's in the game a lot, actually.
Chip is wild.
Because they only have 5 pages, maybe? Or maybe it was to not spoil anything? Not that I think Chip is much of a spoiler.
Chip in the game, gosh.
God, you can never spoil Chip. He's the most important... something.
Listen, Ian wanted to save his writing chops for Chip until the reboot. That's what it is.
I guess.
No, I don't know. Anyway, let's close off with our last issue of today, Sonic number 194. And yeah, she's so scary. I love it.
It is good.
So this is Other Side Part 2, Crossworld Conflict. Holy shit, it's a Sonic Racing Crossworlds preview 14 years in advance.
Sure.
I hope I get the numbers right on that. I think that's right.
Probably.
No, it's more. It's 16 years. 18 even.
Damn. Okay, make up your mind.
Well, it's just, this would have been 2008, and it's 2026, so I think that's 18. Anyway, Flynn and Yardley,
Wait.
Sonic and Amy struggle to deal with the deranged Rosie the Rascal, while the Freedom Fighters and Suppression Squad formulate a plan to get rid of Scourge.
Yeah.
And, yeah, Rosie, she loves smashing hedgehogs. Better worry for this universe's Shadow, I guess.
Does this universe even have a Shadow?
Yeah,
I have no
might
idea.
Not. I mean, like,
Why would they have why would they have a Shadow?
Well, we don't know if they have a gun. I don't know.
We don't really know what's going on with humans in general in this universe.
We don't know
Yeah.
much about this universe, just flat out.
Yeah.
This is the only expansion we've got in a while.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah, like, I mean, really, yeah, I can't believe it that Rosie is just attacking them. This was a great plan.
Yeah, they really shouldn't have come here. It does not do anything good for them.
Yeah, no, it's just like she is like, all right, time to throw down.
Yeah. I do like that Avi's like, I'm not Sonic, you know, you could be like my sister. And she's like, you're breathing, that's good enough for me.
The hierarchy is Scourge, any Sonic, someone who breathes.
Yeah. Boy, did she kill her version of Robbo? I'm just realizing she probably did.
Oh, well,
Who knows?
it would depend on, because I assume she only went crazy like this after interacting with the Ring of Acorn. So if she hasn't seen Robbo since then,
Yeah, I guess maybe she hasn't gone home. I don't know. Anyway, that doesn't matter. Scourge is getting impatient with Miles's bombing mission, not resulting in any explosions. And then he finally sees him getting back with the Freedom Fighters chasing in air quotes. And so they're like, oh, what happened? And he comes in, and they're like, oh, dude, what's going on? And he's like, well, Alicia's plan was a success. So, yeah, it's time to show our king just what we think of him, she says. You won't see me standing in her way.
yeah.
Buns uses the quick-drying riot foam on Rosie, but her hammer is pointy, so it can break it easily. It's almost more like a pickaxe, really.
Yeah, she's got more
Yeah.
like a weird-ass pickaxe.
Yeah. So it becomes Amy on Amy violence while Sonic and Buns try to find the star posts. And, well, they do find them relatively quickly. They're still turned on.
Yeah, interestingly.
Have they just been... I was about to say, have they just been running that thing the whole time? But Buns says maybe they wanted to keep up a supply line.
There's actually an explanation for this, more direct than that,
Okay.
that we'll see.
Boy, are they lucky that Rosie didn't find this by accident.
Yeah,
So I do not think this was on until recently. Okay, I'll just
Maybe.
tell you that the suppression squad activated this for something they have in store. If you
Oh,
recall.
okay.
Okay.
Anyway, yes, Sonic takes a look back home to find total chaos waiting for him.
Oh yeah, there's just shit's going fucking insane.
Yeah, well, Scourge is handling,
is-
like...
He's handling this fairly well. He's over here cursing.
Yeah, he's taken on 8 opponents at once while Fiona takes on only Patch. But yeah, he's yelling, I took on a whole planet, you think you could take me? Rah!
The funny thing is, like, I totally believe that if Scourge wasn't just like super pissed off right now, they could probably win this. But
Oh yeah.
the fact that once again they're letting their emotions get the better of them, like that's the only reason that like everyone is being able to beat them down a little bit.
Yeah, basically. Nicole does fill Sonic in on the plan, and yes, she says they want to run Scourge back to Moebius, sorry. So that's why the star pig posts are open. So
Right.
Sonic gets moving, but Fiona bursts in to take him on, showing more and more that her loyalties lie less with what she actually believes in and more with what she blames for hurting her.
Yeah.
She's like, you know, everybody turned on me. I can't trust or rely on anybody. And Sonic's like, well, you're being a fucking sycophant for dickhead over here.
For dickhead over here.
So the thing is, I mean, this just shows that Fiona is in pieces, basically. But
Mhm.
I find it kind of weird that this shakes her because, like, specifically, they're like, I don't trust or rely on anyone. They're not trusting and relying on Scourge. They're just sticking with them. So, like,
Yeah.
it shouldn't really rattle them.
You know, that's a good point. He says you're fighting hard for him, which is not the same as, like, because she doesn't show vulnerability around Scourge.
Mm-hmm.
Not really.
Yeah, it's a bit sloppy. I wish that they had shown that, honestly, because not that I need Scourge to be particularly more human, but I do think that Fiona needs more of a reason to stick around him.
That's fair.
I think they pulled the trigger too quickly with her character arc. They needed to build her up more and then also
They
have
need
this
to
be
let
more
it
of a
boil.
gradual change. It was too jarring.
Yeah.
Anyway, Amy's hammer got broken. Rosie smashes Bun Mega, but thankfully that mech is built to last and protects the star posts long enough for Amy to call help through. Which gets Sonic's ass in gear, but then oops. He goes and takes on Scourge, but the suppression squad manages to throw both him and Scourge through the portal together and then close the link.
Yeah, make them fucking each other's problem.
Yeah.
I find this believable because the Suppression Squad
Oh, yeah.
ultimately are losers, but like if they just thought a little more, they would have realized don't throw Sonic through, just throw Scourge through. It could have ended so much better for them.
Yeah, because, well, okay, here's the thing. Okay, for them, yes, because they would have thrown Scourge through, Rosie would have killed both of them, probably, and, or rather, would have killed Scourge and Amy, and then their problems are gone. The problem is that would put them in extremely bad standing with their partial allies here, which throwing Sonic in does anyway, but it's also like, Sonic, you kind of do whatever you want to. But, yeah, the partial double cross, it's good. And, yeah, I like that Rosie being here is the most genuine terror we've ever seen from Scourge.
Oh, please, no.
Oh, God. So yeah, she's coming to get him. And, anyway, here's a completely random fucking swerve.
Yeah. What the fuck?
Exactly.
What the fuck?
I had Robbo on the mind, and here he is, along with
True.
Marianne.
I sure didn't have Robbo on the mind, but
Definitely not.
And he's
Nor
being
someone else either.
yeah,
and he's
nor
being
a certain
confronted
someone
by Silver the Hedgehog. What?
just out of fucking left field.
Yeah,
Wow.
I mean,
next week.
like, sure, I guess it does make sense they just pop up out of nowhere, but
I mean,
right that way too.
yeah, like right now though, like
True, and right now,
of all times, the other shit's happening in the story, guys.
Yeah, next week on Deep Dive Zone, we're not even done with this issue, but next week on Deep Dive Zone, this arc gets stupid, all for basically the spectacle of one idea.
Jesus Christ.
So yeah, that's our cliffhanger for the story, but we have one more story.
Yeah.
And I think you'll be interested to see this one, because it's a Snively story.
Yeah,
Oh,
we don't get
yeah.
those too often.
It's Sleepless in New Megaopolis, Flynn and Gray. Disappointed with the state of the Empire he sought to eventually commandeer, and personnel who don't respect him, Snively Robotnik searches for villainous companionship elsewhere.
So like, yeah, we start off here, and Eggman is in a terrible mood, and just like throws a piece of debris at Snively, and Snively's like not happy, and I'm like, dang, darn, you seemed like you were maybe getting better, things were getting a little better for you, but no, I guess not. It makes sense though. I mean, like totally, like yeah, do not stick with this guy. This has never worked for Snively for any long amount of time.
Yeah.
But oh.
Yeah, really.
Well, in the case of Eggman, he is very frustrated because of recent defeats, and he's been getting a little more unhinged lately in Snively's view. And yeah, he's tired of that, and he's tired of a lot because they've been losing recently, and the Dark Egg Legion has been useless as allies to him pretty much. There's this moment where he's like, I'm your superior, you should be saluting me, and she's like, fucking what? No. So yeah, there's really nothing he can do, and they get this great shot of him looking out at the what's left of New Megalopolis, which has obviously been very busted up by Enerjack.
Yeah.
Yeah, wonderful drawing that.
Yeah, I think this is also our first mention of the Egg Dome, which is their current base of operations.
Yes, I believe it is.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it's been rough for Snively. And yeah, he says, Uncle Robotnik has been watching me extra close when he isn't babbling nonsense, that is, so we're definitely still keeping an eye on Snively, even though Eggman is losing his composure a bit.
Yeah.
I do like that Snively has a mug here that says Second Banana on it. So all he has is the wonders of the internet. So he's just like me, for real.
The Eggnet.
Yes, the Eggnet, sorry. He has an instant messenger chat with someone at DKA, and Yeah, they're some ally of Eggman's army, and they say
Yeah.
local resistance is taking us apart piece by piece. So, we've had other freedom fighter groups making trouble for other parts of Eggman's empire.
Right. We're
I'm sure
starting to
this will
see
make.
the
Sorry.
fall part of his empire again.
Yeah, it makes sense. I'm sure this will make even more sense when we actually see who this is. At the moment, though, I'm like struggling to think like
I'm
who
not
the
sure
heck
who
is
this could
left?
be. Yeah.
Like who could this be? Yeah.
I am so glad that you don't know.
Okay, it's probably someone obvious in retrospect then. Dang. Oh well.
Yeah.
I don't even know if I would call it obvious. I wouldn't
Oh,
say this
okay.
has been foreshadowed at all up to this point. This is
Hmm.
the foreshadowing because it's something that comes a lot later. We won't be seeing it next time, that's for sure.
All right.
But yeah, he strikes up a friendship with whoever this is because they share some similar sentiments and they talk about meeting in real life. So, yeah, that's. I guess that's a cliffhanger. It's not as much of the one as the fucking random Silver the Hedgehog entrance, but whatever. That one has its own issues. Anyway,
Just had to have a triple cliffhanger. They couldn't settle for one.
yeah, the rare 3 times triple cliffhanger combo. So yeah, that's our issues for today, and I would say this is pretty good. I think it's been an all right arc. I think definitely
There's definitely interesting stuff. Yeah.
definitely the middle part of attacking the base is like, okay, can you just get on with it? It's like either you
Yeah,
win
you
or
could've-
lose.
You could have cut out that first issue pretty much entirely.
For the most part, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but by and large, it's been fun. Like I said, it kind of feels like they're just messing around a little bit, but it's been interesting.
Sure, yeah.
Yeah, all I really ask is that you don't bore me and that you don't make a fucking joke of
Yeah.
your characters. So, yeah.
True. They're not doing that, which is very good.
Yeah. So, next time on Deep Dive Zone, I would still say they don't do that, although I do think that it's very contrived what they end up getting to.
Interesting.
But we will also be seeing some new stuff. I believe that we will get the first issue of Sonic Universe next time.
Okay.
So that to look forward to. But anyway, thank you to my level co-host for being here, and thank you to all of our wonderful viewers for watching. That is where we are done for tonight. If you like this episode, please feel free to share, like, comment, and subscribe. If you have any questions, comments, criticisms, suggestions, or feedback, you can reach us at any of the links in the link tree in the description. I hope you all have a great rest of your week. We'll see you next week for another exciting episode. I hope you all have a great rest of your night, and take care.